everybody, and welcome to Blue Goose Garage. It's been a little bit since I did an update on the Metro convertible project, and really it's been a while since I've had to do anything but add oil to it or gas. Basically, you fill up the oil and you check the gas. The car's running okay, but it's getting rid of some. I mean, it's getting rid of quite a bit, honestly. It can get rid of a quart in 50 miles, and some of that's leaking, but some of that's burning. And it wasn't like that until I did that valve job. And an old man once upon a time told me that anytime you do a valve job on an engine that is questionable, that might be wore out, you probably need to go ahead and put rings in it, because if you don't, it's going to smoke. And he was right multiple times in my life, and he was definitely right when it came to this one, because it went from getting rid of a little bit to getting rid of a lot. So sometime this summer, I'm going to put rings in it and valve seals and stuff. At least it's running on all three cylinders. Alright, so I gave you an update on the Metro. And you know, to say that it's doing okay and then in the same sentence say that it's smoking might not make sense to a lot of people, but to quote Lone Wolf Customs, doo-doo-doo. You know, it kind of is what it is. Anyway, okay, so now we've talked about the Metro that maybe 5 people give a damn about. Now we're going to talk about the Chevelle. Alright, the Chevelle. I've done quite a bit of work to that the last week. I didn't film any of it, but I did take some pictures. I'm going to add some pictures in here towards the end. But I'm going to show you what I've been doing. It took a lot of work to do what I've been doing, and it's still not nice. And it's never going to be nice. I've said this before. That car is not a show car. It's never going to be a show car. It's just about making it a grandstand car. 20-footer. A half a miler. You know, if you looked at the pond that you can't even see from where I'm at, it would look fine. As long as you can't see it. So, I'm going to show you that back in a blink of an eye. It's so pretty. Now I'm going to mention why that's pink a little bit. I have 2 gallons of gray U-Pole urethane primer. I mixed the mixing color in it so I could kind of tint the primer to more of a reddish pink looking color. And the reason I did that, for me, I can't see shadows with gray. I can't see shadows with yellow. I can see them a little bit with black, but most of the time it needs to be a redder tint for me to be able to see a dent. And you say use guide coat. I've never been able to block something with guide coat and it turn out any better than if I'd have just done it with red. Because I'm not colorblind, but shadows and stuff with different colors don't show up the same for me as they do with a red color. So that's why, if you paid attention to that 70s slideshow, there was a few pictures in the middle of that car with red oxide lacquer, and I did that so I could block it and see what I was doing, which is kind of like a guide coat, I guess, but really it was for me to see it better. It may not make sense. You'd have to work on body work and stuff to kind of understand that. And if you're a good body guy, you're still not going to understand that. I've heard it mentioned a few times that if you're a body guy, you're a shitty mechanic, and if you're a mechanic, you're a shitty body guy. It's 2 different mindsets. You know, mechanic is mechanical stuff, and auto body's artistic stuff. You have to be an artist to get a car nice. And I'm not an artist. I'm more of a mechanic than I am a body guy. So the car's going to be a from the pond body painting job, you know. but it's gonna satisfy me, and that's really all it has to do. All right, so now since I've rambled on about that for a few minutes and confused you, I'm going to confuse you even more by mentioning the interior I've been doing. I bought that carpet kit 3 years ago. It's been in the car for 3 years. Even before I started parking the car outside, underneath the floor mats are the original color of that carpet. That's still the original color of the carpet was. Whatever kind of dye they used on that carpet, you just can't buy anything good anymore, and that was a good brand. I guess I could re-dye the carpet, but I paid for that brand new. I feel like it should still be looking good, even if it is dirty. But that's faded, not dirty. But I put the carpet back down. I didn't show you. I don't think I even took pictures, but there is basically boom mat. I showed that in another video. It's not, though. It's a butyl tape, rubber black butyl tape with silver on one side. And that's basically going from here to there, all the way across the front. There's some underneath the back seat that I'm sitting on. And then there's jute padding carpet underlayment. Danny, the guy that passed away that owned the Metro, last year gave me a roll that's about 3/8 thick. And I've put it underneath the carpet, front to back. It's underneath the seat, everything. The little bit of insulation that carpet had on it really wasn't good enough for me. I'm tired of driving something and baking my feet. So, thank you, Danny. I also, this isn't done, it's got the console mounts welded to the floor. I have a picture of where I used the original floor pan to make a template for that. From the factory, that wasn't welded. From the factory, that was brazed down. I used the wire welder, but it's got the mounts front to back, even though the front one can't do anything because that console don't have the ears. I ran the wire in front of the heater box and down under the carpet, and it comes up straight underneath the clock. I put the kick panels on both sides, and the vents work. I painted this side just like I had this side, and then I recovered my old seats. Most people probably would have replaced that padding. I didn't want to. I wanted to leave the padding alone. Those seats are pretty rough underneath that padding, and I know that. So instead of having to worry about how I was going to come up with foam to put the seats back together and everything else, I'm just going to pretend that I didn't see any of that, and that's covered. The seat belts are out of this car and that Malibu. They don't work. They don't have to. They just kind of have to look like seat belts. Nobody's going to ride back here anyway. I am missing the medallion. I used what I had, and none of the cars out here had the rear seat medallions. Parts cars, remember? I know some of this stuff's reproduction, some of it's not. It's a mix match. It's what I could find. The clock's reproduction, the tack's reproduction, but the cluster's original, and it's out of this car. All the wiring's original. I've had to make my own harnesses in a couple different situations, but all this should work when I get done. Anyway, I know I've been rambling, but I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I'll show you more soon. Bye.